Hi everybody and welcome again. In this video we are going to continue customizing our contact card. We are going to use the Office 365 users connector to get the information that we need from a specific person. So let's get started. Okay, so now what we're going to do is replace the values of these labels with the value of the actual person who have been selected. To do that, we are going to use a connector. In this case, it's going to be the Office 365 users connector. So let's add that connector to our list of data sources. And now we are going to replace the value from the text property. Okay, so for instead of full name, let's use another method. We are gonna get the full name of the user that have been basically selected. Okay, so the method will be Office 365 users, which is the name of the connector basically. Point, and we have several methods. In this case, we are gonna look at the method user profile. Okay, so this method will require to pass the user ID, which is going to be the user principal name or the email ID. In this case, I'm going to put a sample value. Okay, this is an existing email, and then we need to specify which value we want to get. In this case, I'm going to get the display name value or property, right? So as you can see in the contact card, it automatically has been refreshed and we see the name of the person that have that email or that ID, right? So we will need to do the same for the rest of labels. So in the case of role, let's change the text property. Let's paste the same method, and instead of full name, we are going to put the role. So instead of using the display name property, this time we're going to look at the job title, which is going to get the role of that particular person. Okay, we will need to do the same for all of the labels. In the case of department, will be similar. For the text property, let's paste the same method. In this case, we are gonna get the department. So instead of display name, we will put a department. For the case of the office location, we are gonna use another property, which is gonna be the office location. Okay, and the last one will be the email. So we are gonna use the mail property. So let's replace display name with mail. Excellent. So now we have basically the values that are needed. Let me resize this label to show the email. Okay. Now let's change the value of the picture. So let's go to the image property. And in the image property, we are going to replace the default value with another method. In this case, it's going to be users 365, Office 365 users, point, and we're going to use user photo version 2. And here we need to specify again the email of the user, right? So we're going to use that sample value. And now we see that we have all the values that we need. So let's go back to our home screen. And this time we are gonna use another variable. This time is gonna be in order to get the actual email that we need, right? From the person who is selected. So let's add a second variable. This variable is gonna be the contact ID. When the home screen is invisible, the value will be just a blank value, right? So let's put the comment. This variable is going to store the ID or email of the person who has been selected, right? Okay, excellent. So let's go back to the information icon, and here in the update context we are gonna actually set a value to the contact ID variable. So this time the contact ID variable, let me add that variable, contact ID, is gonna have the value of the email of the specific role. So in this case, we need to use this item to get the value from the SharePoint list of this particular item, and we're gonna use the property IE email, which is gonna have the email of the account executive. Okay. So when someone click on that button, which is next to the AI role, we basically are gonna get the email of the account executive, which is stored in the SharePoint list. So we will need to do the same for each of the roles. In each of the icons, in this case, we will need to get the email from the sales specialist. So in this case, we're gonna use another field from the SharePoint list that store the email from the sales specialist. Okay, and the same is gonna be with the SDR, right? The sales development representative. We are gonna change that value. All of those are fields that exist in my SharePoint list. In the next video, I'm going to explain you how to store that information in that list. But by now, we are basically getting the email value. Okay. Now that we have stored the values from the email of each role, we can replace this value with the variable, right? So the variable, remember, is contact ID. So instead of putting basically an email, in this case we're just gonna get the value from the variable. Okay, so let's replace that in all of the labels. We will do that in all of the labels. So you can see that as I am changing the value with the variable, we're automatically getting the corresponding values in the labels, right? For example, if I change here the image, we are gonna see the picture corresponding to the person who have been selected. So if I close this screen and I click another icon, we are automatically now getting the values corresponding to that specific person, right? Because this time we are sending the corresponding email. We can just resize this, the name and the email. Okay, now looks better. Yeah, we are getting the data that we need. This now is dynamic, it's not the static values. And to finish, let's add some functionality to this email icon. So let's go to the onSelect property, and here we are gonna use another method, which is gonna be the launch method. Launch is gonna help me to open another application in a browser. In this case, we are gonna send an email. To do that, we are gonna put mail to and specify the email of the person that has been selected. The email is we can get that value from the contact ID variable. Okay, so let's preview the app and let's try if it's working. So if I select, for example, this particular person, I can click on this icon and we see that we can automatically send an email to that person. Excellent. Okay, so that was all for this video. In the next videos, I'm gonna show you how to work with the list of opportunities. We are gonna see how can we filter the opportunities by specific customers. So if you like this content, please don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share this video with your friends. Hope to see you again. Bye.